Hello. This video is to introduce you to our recording equipment that we're going to be using for class. We're doing some stuff that a little bit differently for the first time this year. One of those things is we've acquired a new set of recording microphones and receivers all in one unit called the Rode Go 2. And these are a little bit different than what most people might be used to doing. I'm going to introduce them a little bit and explain some of their upsides and downsides. In a lot of ways, they're going to make our life a lot easier, but they're quirky. So just bear with me, and I want to introduce them to you here. So in the past, we've been using something like this, our workhorse, the Zoom H6 field recorder, kind of the top of the line of the handheld Zoom recorders. It contains 4 input channels, plus your built-in XY microphones. It's got these really great knobs for adjusting the audio levels. You can, again, record up to 6 tracks at the same time. And of course it has a headphone jack where you can monitor the audio. So all around a really great unit. Some of the downsides of it is well, it's pretty expensive. And of course you have to have microphones as well. You can use the built-in XY microphone on them, which aren't bad. But if you want to really get a microphone on a subject like I'm wearing here, you're going to need more equipment. And by the time the smoke clears, you've got a lot of equipment. The other problem with this is that the Zoom likes to eat batteries. And as you can see, I've got 4 rechargeable Panasonic AA batteries in here, which are great. If you have one of these, I encourage you to use the rechargeable AA batteries. But you have to make sure they're all charged up. You might get 2.5 hours worth of recording time on a fresh set of AA batteries. So when Rode introduced this new Rode Go 2 receiver and 2 wireless mics all together for $300, I was pretty excited. But they work a lot differently than the things I'm used to. So it can the kit consists, the base kit that I have consists of 1 receiver, and this is has a little window on here so you can monitor your microphones. It's got a jack so you can go ahead and plug it into your camera like I'm doing right now to record this video, or also plug into another device where you can record using it as a receiver, as a track coming in. And it also comes with 2 of these. The microphone itself, the wireless microphone. But that's where kind of the familiarity of these really starts to drop off. Really the secret to these Rodes is right here in the microphone itself. The microphone is also the recording device. So on this microphone, as opposed to the Zoom, right? So the Zoom has this little SD card inside of it that the media gets recorded to, which is kind of how all the recording devices of the world seem to work. They record to some sort of media in the receiving unit, which is this. That it would actually record to a memory chip inside the actual wireless microphone is something that takes a little bit of getting used to if you've done any audio recording, and it's certainly taking a little getting used to for me. But these have tremendous advantages. So the receivers, the receiver and these microphones each have a battery life of about 7 hours. The batteries are inside the unit, which means that you just plug it into your computer via the USB-C port and you can charge them up. You're ready to go. They also will hold 7 hours of audio. Well, now you can record many, many hours on a 64 gig SD card in a Zoom. So, the 7 hours might not be so great, but that 7 hours of battery time is amazing. And the fact that you don't need to be charging up AA batteries takes a huge headache out of this process, especially when you think about a bunch of students running around using recorders. Now, the transmitter, rather, the receiver, actually doesn't record anything on it. But what this does is it controls the 2 microphones. So when you turn this on, you can set it so the microphones start recording. Just like the microphones, the receiver has been designed by Rode to last for 7 hours on a charge. Again, pretty amazing. These three microphones, the two microphones rather, and the receiver, these three items, I mean, this is a very small, compact package. Very, very attractive. How's the recording quality? Pretty darn good. You know, and I've used it quite extensively over this recent summer doing field recordings. Each of the microphones, so you'll notice on the top, it's got a built-in microphone right here on the top, but it's also able to use a 3.5 millimeter TRS jack to hook up things like, you know, these optional lavalier microphones, which we have, kind of expensive for what they are. But as I'm wearing right now, that allow you to hook up a regular microphone. But I will say in the field, especially if you're not recording to video and you don't really want to minimize the look of the microphone, they also come with these little, I call them Russian furry hat items. They're windscreens, or what people would call a dead cat in the industry. And they literally twist right onto the built-in microphone. I'll go ahead and twist this one on right now. And you can see it's wearing its little Russian hat. And it's ready to go. And I do find that in the field, you clip this onto yourself or your interview subject, and it does a very nice job of cutting down the wind. So I've told you a bunch of the upsides of the Rode Go 2, but what are the downsides? Well, there are two main downsides. One, it is extremely difficult to monitor these. I've tried all different kinds of ways, monitoring through my camera, monitoring through a phone. None of these things seem to work. So what you really need to do is just kind of go on faith that it's recording and pay attention to your visual monitors on the receiver. You will get you know, a fairly lively bar. It's in color, it's easy to read. So the monitoring, which I do miss, I do like having the comfort of these knobs and being able to adjust audio levels in the field with a nice set of over-the-ear headphones. Again, that's one sacrifice you're going to make. The other sacrifice is that the files are a little bit more difficult to work with in post-production. I'll be showing you how that works in a future video, but there are just really a couple more steps that are involved. One other thing that is really, really great about these microphones is that while you're using the receiver, you can also go and plug in this special cable. I have some of these for you to use, and you plug it into the USB-C port onto the receiver. And on the other side, this one is particularly designed for iPhones. You can plug it into your iPhone, and you go ahead and turn that on, and there is an app called the Rode Reporter app, which you can use, and this is not on, so it's not showing it right yet, but you can use this app to record also from these wireless microphones. And this is really great because what's happening then when you're doing an interview, if you have your phone, and this also works on Android, you can use a USB-C to USB-C cable to plug this receiver into an Android phone and use this so you can hit record and have your files mix of the two microphones on your phone. At the same time, you're recording them to the microphones as well. So you've actually got two copies of your recording. And you also have another set of monitors on your phone that you can keep an eye on while you're recording. So that gets around some of the monitoring problem. Not all, I realize it's not quite the same as actually listening to what your microphones are picking up and adjusting your gain accordingly. Gain being the volume knob. In really adjusting how much signal is being recorded. But what it does do is it gives you two running copies of your interview while it's going on, giving you kind of an insurance policy in using these microphones when you're out in the field. Remember, when you do an oral history interview, you usually only get one chance to record it. All right, the next step is getting these microphones prepared for use in the field.